Okay, guys, let's get this through this quickly. I'm sorry that it didn't work. So the side length and area of a square are related. So the side here is 5, and this side's 5. Now you guys are well aware that the area of a circle is the length times the width. And in grade 9, we've started writing it as LW with no symbol between them. But of course, in a square, we know that squares have the same sides. So, L and L is the same as WW. And in this case, it's 25. Cool? Now, the next thing that you have to be aware of is it doesn't matter what the number is. The number, the length, is the width, and it is the side. So we're going to make this guy 7. Do I have a square anymore? No. So I got to make that side 7. Do I have a square anymore? No. But if I fill it in, I do keep my square. And now it's 7 times 7, which is 49. Right? Everybody good? I hope. So, here's what we need. A square number has the same area of a square shape. All right? So now the question becomes, as I asked in class, are there more squares or square roots? Remember. So here we go. I got 7, so 7 squared is 49. So the square root of 49 must be 7. So what does that tell us? That tells us the square equals the area, and the square root equals the side. So now we know that every single time we take any number, if we draw it on the side of a square, 7. If we draw it again, 7, we make the square and we get 49 in the middle. 49 is the square, 7 is the root. And then we'll go through a bunch here. 4 squared is 16, so the area is 16. 4 is the root, so the square root of 16 is 4, so the side is 4. 16 is the square, 4 is the root. 8 squared, because I had 8 and 8, is 64. So the area is 64. The root of 64 must be the side length, which is 8. Oh, yep, still erasing. And 11 squared is 121. Area is 121 square units. So the square root of 121 is 11. Okay? I know this is going faster than it went in class, but I trust that you're okay because you sat through the class already. The square of a number is the number multiplied by itself. Okay? So 2 times 2 equals 4. That's saying 4 is the square of 2. A square root of the number is one of the sides if we draw a square. And a square root must be the same. So 2 times 2 equals 4, which means the square root of 4 is 2. Squaring and taking a square root are what we call inverse operations. Now you guys already know what those are. Plus, minus, times, divide, squaring some number squared, and the square root of that same number. Okay? Complete each sentence. 4 squared is 16, so the square root of 16 is 4. 12 squared is 144, so the root of 144 is 12. Square root of 25 is 5, because 5 squared is 25. And the square root of 100 is 10, because 10 squared is 100. Good? I will pause for a second, James, so you can check it. And that will erase what we just did. There it goes. Okay. A number is a perfect square if it is a product of two equal factors. Okay, so a number is a perfect square if it is the product of two equal factors. So 2 times 2. Are they equal? Yep. So 4 is a perfect square. -2 and -2. Is that going to make a perfect square? Yep, because they're the same. It's going to be +4. What about x and x? Are they the same? Yes. What about -2 and +2? No, because they are not equal. Everybody good? Here's this chart. All you can do is fill it in. 3, 3, 9, 9, 3. And so on. Oh, I just erased it all the way down to 12. I hope you got it. And then, of course, I'll put in the rest of them. 13 squared is 169. So root 169 is 13. $15 is 225. So root of 225 is 15. 16 is 256, so root 256 is 16. 17 is 289, root 289 is 17. 18 is 324, so root 324 is 18. 19 is 361, so root 361 is 19, and 20 squared is 400, so root 400 is 20. I'll wait a second with that, make sure you get it all. So, fractions and decimals. Remember, if it happens once in math, it happens all the time. So, if the square of a number equals the number times the number, then it must be the same for fractions and decimals. 1/2 squared is 1/2 times 1/2, which is 1/4. 2/3 squared is 2/3 times 2/3, which is 4/9. Now with decimals, it's the same thing. 0.5 times 0.5 is 25 with 2 decimal places, 0.25. 1.1 times 1.1 is the same as 11 times 11, which is 121 with 2 decimal places. Cool? So what if I have 0.02 times 0.02? Well, that's 4, but I need 4 decimal places. So 1, 2, 3, and the 4 makes the 4th. Calculate the number whose square root is 5/8. So the square root is 5/8. Since 5/8 is the root, then the square is 5/8 times 5/8, which is of course 25/64. This is the root. So the square is 1.2 times 1.2, which is the same as 12 times 12, 144, and 2 decimal places, 1.44. Everybody good? Calculate the perfect square with the given root. Well, there's the root, so it's 3,388,9/64. Okay, we're back, guys. 3 times 3, 8 times 8, so it's 9/64. That's 3 halves times 3 halves. 3 times 3, 2 times 2, 9/4. 9/64. 9/4. 0.5. 5 times 5 is 25, and I need 2 decimal places, so it's 0.25. 625, and it's 2 decimal places, so it's 6.25. Okay. Slide it along. Is it a perfect square? Yes or no? Well, first I got to check. If it's a perfect square, then 16 would have a square root, and 25 would have a square root. Do they? Well, 16 square root we know is 4 times 4. 25 is 5 times 5. So the square root of 16 over 25 must be 4 over 5. Perfect square. This one, square root of 9 equals 3. Square root of 20, uh-oh, no dice. 20 doesn't work. So this is not a perfect square. So let's check. 9 is because of 3 times 3. 49 is, because of 7 times 7, so 9/49 is. 25 is, because of 5 times 5. 13 isn't, because no equal factors. As James told us, it's a prime number. It only has 2 factors, itself and 1, so that isn't. And 64 is, because of 8 times 8. 81 is, because of 9 times 9, so this must be, is a perfect square. See how it all just disappeared there? Classic. 9 times 9 is 3 times 3. 4 is 2 times 2, so it's 3 halves. 16 is 4 times 4. 9 times 9, so it's 4 ninths. And finally, this is the last thing. So, 1.69. That's really 1 and 69 over 100, yes? Which we know when we see that to do times plus, and we get 169 over 100. Now, is it a square? Well, let's check. Square root. Does 169 have a square root? 13. 10, 100, 10. 13 tenths is 1.3. Now check. Isn't 1.3 times 1.3 the same as 13 times 13, which is 169 with 2 decimal places? See how it works? Now 3.5 is 3 and 5 tenths, which is 35 tenths. That's not square, and that's not square. So now this was the last thing I showed you guys. 1.69 is 2 decimal places. So that is over 100, which has a perfect square. 1 decimal place is over 10. Not perfect. So if there's 1 decimal place, there's no chance of a root. But if there's 2 decimal places, it's possible. So let's check some others. Point X, Y, Z. 3 decimal places. 6.xyz. So that's over 1,000. Is that a perfect square? No. So 3 decimal places, no good. What about 6.xyza? 4 decimal places. That's over 10,000. That does have a square root, 100 times 100. So 4 decimal places, possible. Right? What about 5 decimal places? Well, 1 was no. 3 was no. What about 5? No. What about 6? Well, 2 was yes. 4 was yes. So 6, yes, because it's over 1,000,000. And 1,000,000 has a square root. 1,000 times 1,000. So that's it. Remember, don't bother with the homework tonight.